Hello, 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 hello. So, tonight's guest is Ed of Rolling Museums. So, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I'm really excited to talk to him because I have just so many questions. Outside of the questions that you guys have, I have so many questions for him. So, it looks like he just joined, so I'm gonna go ahead and bring him in. Hello, sir.
Hey, how you doing?
So, let me just tell you this. I don't really get excited about let me just say this. First, I'm a true car culture person. So I get excited sometimes about things. But when I tell you I've been so excited to talk to you, I
That's
got
great
so many
question.
questions. The fans had so many questions. I was like, okay, we got to condense this to 1 hour.
I got you. I got you. I got you. Well, hopefully I don't let them down and whatever the questions they may have.
So first, I want to tell you thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. I see you had a lot going on today. So I was like, and I got a question about that too. So I got a whole bunch to
Okay.
cover.
Yeah, well, I bought a badge before I jumped on, so I hope they do the same.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. So my first question is, tell me how you got into cars.
I'll try to make it a short answer. I started selling cars in like 2001. I was selling at a traditional dealership, and I was in the regular car business up until maybe 3 years ago. I was a senior vice president of sales for a large independent out of Memphis. So I managed 68 dealerships, had about 700 employees, and they sold it to a investment bank, and they decided to bring their own upper management staff. So I started doing my own thing with classics.
So you just said, I'm done. I'm gonna just do my own thing.
Yeah, well, some of it. My business partner, Mr. Carbar, he also he kind of helped me get into classics to some extent, and then we just kind of figured out a way to monetize it.
Okay. All right. So I guess that kind of leads to the first fan question that kind of ties well with that.
Mhm.
What gave y'all the idea for rolling museums?
The name Rolling Museums, or just the cars in general?
So we'll go with the name first and then the concept.
So the second car that we did was a 1964 Pontiac Grand Prix.
Mhm.
We actually lost money on this car, but just sitting and looking in the interior of the car, and to me, Pontiacs have the prettiest interiors.
Okay.
That's just my opinion. I like it. I like how the gauges are set up and all that. So I sat there and just looked at the car, and it's kind of it reminded me of a museum piece. So that's how the name it's a rolling museum. It's just kind of how it came to fruition.
hmm So how did y'all? So so just the name Rolling Museum. How do y'all decide what cars are Rolling Museum worthy?
Um, that's a great question, actually. So we sell a pretty good amount of cars. I'm gonna say a pretty good amount. We sell some cars, maybe three a month, 3 or 4 a month, that actually are cars that we may have bought, but we really don't feel like that they're like, the quality that we traditionally represent. So stuff like that, we just throw on Marketplace. And there's a handful of people from Instagram that follow us on Marketplace too. So, um, it's really stuff that we think is pretty relatively close to turnkey. And if it's not a turnkey car, it's going to be something that's a really high demand car, like a convertible Chevelle or something that's a really sought after car for us to put it on our page. Because at the end of the day, you want to sell experiences, and that's all classic cars is. It's just a big toy for people to take them back to a time where they, invoke a memory or invoke some type of emotional response to a time
Right.
that they enjoyed those kind of cars. So
Right. So do y'all have, well, I won't say arguments, but let's say disagreements about, hey, I really want to keep this car.
oh,
Are we really gonna sell it?
all the time. It happens once a week. That I don't know if you guys were watching. There's a black K5 Blazer we just sold. I
I
bought that
saw
car.
that.
I bought that car for me, and I drove it a couple times, and enough people asked me about it in my inbox. And it became for sale. So it happens all the time. I fall in love with cars all the time as soon as I take pictures of them. So. Yeah. So I keep a lot of cars for about 10 minutes.
Somebody asked, "What's the Facebook handles on Marketplace?"
Uh, Mine is under my name, which is Ed Brew on Facebook. And
Hmm.
it's the same picture that you used the for kind of the advertisement for this. So
Hmm.
that's what mine is. So you can follow me on Marketplace. Also, with our subscription page, everything that we buy goes on there first.
Okay.
So it's on there a couple weeks usually before we actually post it on our traditional page, which we sell probably about a third of the stuff there now before it actually hits our regular page.
Oh, that's dope. How much is your monthly subscription?
Just $1. We just try. It's just something to well, a landing
Something a
spot for
year.
stuff. Something because what happens is we probably if I get 100 inboxes a day, it'll be 30 inboxes will be what do you have coming? So
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, so that's dope. So if whoever's listening, y'all should just go ahead and subscribe to their that. Listen, I'm not a big Facebook person.
Uh-huh.
So if I can go hit that, pay you $1
Uh,
and subscribe to your thing and see. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and subscribe
but I mean,
when I
because what
get off.
happens is, like, people that follow our page, you'll see some stuff sits on the page 10 minutes and then other stuff will sit a little bit longer. But, the biggest complaint that I get is that, hey, listen, it's not enough time to make a decision. Well, if it's on the subscription page, you'll see it, sometimes 2, 3 weeks before we actually get it in stock. Once we pay for it, we put it up there. So,
You know what's funny? I just had, well, not just in January, I went to Barrett Jackson, and it was a guy. I met a guy. He was very interesting. He only came there for a K5 Blazer, and I thought to myself, "Dang, I should have got his phone number or something." Because I told him I come across cars all the time. I could have sent him for the K5.
yeah,
So
that came nice.
that's what made me think about it.
Mhm.
So in reference to being a totally independent, would you consider yourself an independent antique car dealer, or what would you consider? What would y'all consider yourselves? Because when I think about Roller Museums, I think about an independent antique car dealer. That's what I think when I think about you guys. But what would you consider you guys? Okay.
Hold on one second.
Oh, I can hear you now. Okay.
Let me try to throw my phone on the charger. Sorry about that. What was your
So,
question
oh
again?
no, no worries. So, what would you consider you guys? When I think about you guys, I consider you antique car dealer. What would you consider
Uh,
Roller Museums?
yeah, we're comfortable with that. We sell all different types of cars, but for Instagram's sake, that's just kind of what we know. This lighting is terrible in here. For Instagram's sake, you know what? Let me try this out. I'm sorry, I'm moving around because
Yeah, right. Yeah, you was busy today. I think what? How did y'all come up with the concept of? Explain to everybody what happened today if they were not, if they were under a rock or they may not follow you guys. What happened today? What did you guys do today?
Well, we got a couple things going on this week that are kind of making the days a little bit more cumbersome. So, um, generally, we have a process of when vehicles come in. We kind of service them in a certain order in order to make it just move quicker. So, car comes in, we evaluate it. I sit down with Antonio, who's one of our employees, and we kind of game plan the car. Hey, listen, this one needs tires, it needs this, it needs that. We need to send it to service and get these things done. Line up paint so we can make sure that we get any kind of anything that needs to be corrected on the car. Then it goes from paint to detail, and then detail back to the location where we kind of do a preemptive video that we let our subscribers know. Like we post it when it comes, when we buy it, but then we give them another like, hey, tomorrow this is dropping in the morning.
Mhm.
So we have a lot of that, and we have quite a few cars that are in transit that are coming in. So we have that, and then on top of the fact, we have car show Saturday here in Huntsville that we've been planning, and then on Sunday we have the giveaway. So it's just one of those weeks where we have quite a few things going on top of trying to buy cars.
So,
So
But what was today? I saw you guys did something today.
What do you mean? What do you
Was
refer?
it today? Like well, maybe that's Saturday. You were saying that they can pay and get a car wash too. Was that for your car
Yeah,
show Saturday?
yeah, it's for the car wash. So you go to a lot of car washes, and I'm not knocking, excuse me, car washes, car shows, and I'm not knocking anybody's pricing point or anything like that. But we just wanted to make it where it was really more about coming out and showing your cars and branding and really making it a profitable thing. So we had quite a few people confused about what we were charging. So for the sake of the conversation, it's free for spectators. If you want to just come check out cars, you just come check them out. For cars that are in the car show, we're charging $50, and it comes with a touchless car wash. So that's why we were saying, I mean, the car wash is $40 traditionally anyway, so it's really like $10 to put your car in the show. So that was kind of what we were going over as it relates to that. And people asking, can they bring new cars? I told them you just bring whatever you want.
Right.
So,
So the touchless car wash. I'm so interested in that. Is it like one of those? Because it looked like to me like a big tunnel.
yeah. So on the spot full service car wash has the longest conveyor car wash in the country.
Wow.
And so the car wash isn't maybe 90 days old at this point, but they have like these so for people who have like ceramic wraps or extremely sensitive paint, they offer a touchless car wash where they basically soap and sud it with the machines, and then like these high pressure dryers, for lack of a better explanation, will basically dry the car off without them having to use brushes in order to you don't want it swirls or anything like that in your paint.
Is it
But
a conveyor belt or does it have those tracks?
it's a conveyor belt. It's like a long like if you go through the airport, you've seen those belts that you walk on, like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it just
I
moves really
need
quick.
one of them. Come and tell you something. This is totally off topic, or maybe it is. But one time I went try to go through I'm supposed to get hand car washes, but I tried to go through the thing with the little racks, and I asked the man. I said, "Now these rims are kind of, you know,
Yeah.
expensive.
Uh-huh.
Is it gonna scratch my rim?" He said no, and guess what happened? My rims are scratched, so I
Yeah.
can never go through one again.
Yeah. Now this one's perfect, especially for low cars that sit low to the ground. The clearance is extremely low. You don't have any kind of issues like that. But no, I'm excited about that. I think those guys are going to do a great job. And I thought it was a really good place to collab with as far as to highlight Huntsville businesses.
So, two-part question. What is your favorite part about being in the car world? And what is your least favorite part? Like the part that you're like, oh my God, this is...
My favorite thing to do, I get a big time rush out finding cars, like finding them and going to visit these people and listening to the stories. My least favorite part is kind of really not lowering it, but not meeting customers' expectations as it relates to a customer experience.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that kind of hurts me a little bit personally, just because I like to be treated a certain way when I do business. But what happens is sometimes we get inundated with messages that, our response times are slow. That's something that I keep up with that from being in a traditional dealership. Response times are slow. I'm not getting back to customers in a timely fashion. People are requesting information that I haven't. Like I may have 100 questions on one car, and 60 people that want pictures, and then the 61st person don't care, you just want to send a deposit. Now the other 60 are like, man, I wanted to make a decision, but you didn't send pictures. But it's 100,000. I think I got 116,000 followers now or something like that. And it's really me on this side and Melvin on the other side. So sometimes it's just a little bit frustrating not to be able to get back to people in a timely fashion.
Right. Did you ever think when you guys started, because you say y'all just started 3 years ago, really, right?
Yes, something like that, 2.5, something like that.
Did you ever think when you guys started that it will become as big? And I don't even feel like you guys have reached the pinnacles that you're gonna reach. Mm-hmm. But did you ever feel like it would be to where it is now?
Yeah.
Oh, you already knew.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I like that.
I have been successful in most things that I've done in my life, and that's just because I think that I treat people fairly, and I pray on it, and I don't think that, I think that God moves mountains if He needs to. So, no block, no blessings. I think that I do a good job, and I hope that people appreciate what we do.
Um, do you ever feel like you are ready to reach a stopping point? Like I'm tired.
No, I mean, I think any successful business looks for an opportunity to scale, and I think that you have to be careful when you scale. I mean, things have to move at the same time. Inventory needs to rise at the same time as staff, as well as the same time as advertising. All that stuff needs to move simultaneously. They can't get out of whack as it relates to that. So I think that ultimate goal for any business is business owner is to remove himself from the process where he doesn't have to be so hands-on. And we recently have hired, in the last maybe 6 months, we've hired 5 or 6 people to kind of help us with some of the day-to-day stuff. Like I hired Levon, who's a sales manager here now. He does most of the administrative paperwork to and from customers, to and from lenders. He can do his own buying, stuff like that. Stuff that I don't. There's some of the minutia of the business, and then I have Antonio who handles the shop. So it helps to and from service facilities and helping game plans and ordering parts and stuff like that. And then Melvin on his side has a mechanic. So we're starting to put it in a way where we can kind of just really focus on buying. And then hopefully we get to a point where, because a lot of people don't know we do consignment. We get to a point where a lot of it, half the business is consignment. You don't even have to look for cars. So that I think is the long term for any business is to remove the yourself from the day-to-day process, and then you have something. I mean, you can have a $10 million business, but if you the whole focal point of the business, it can't be sold. You can't monetize that because they need you to run it.
Right. Have you was it hard for you to because I'll give for me an example. I have businesses, and it's hard for me to let go and let other people do stuff. Is that hard for you?
No. Okay. I am ambitiously lazy. I can tell you the easiest way to do most jobs.
Right. It's so hard though. I need to figure out how to take a page from not only your book, but several people I know. It's just very hard to just let it go.
Well, I don't know what, your background, but I'm used to delegating at this point because of my previous job. So, I think that you develop a solid process for your business and you replicate it.
Right. So what has been thus far your favorite car that has come through Rolling Museums?
I thought about this question earlier.
You knew I was going to ask it?
Yeah. Okay. My favorite car that's come through, I had a 75 Caprice that was red with tan interior. We named it Clifford. I thought I was going to keep that car forever. And then last year, June, a dude made an offer on it that I couldn't refuse.
Was it a convertible?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so you had a convert and you sold it.
Yeah, he made me sell it. I mean, he made me an offer I thought was, more than fair. And so I took it. My favorite car, probably classic car I've never owned, which is probably a mid to late 60s Continental. So.
Is that the one with the suicide doors?
Mm-hmm.
Listen, let me just tell you, Sleepy Brown is, if you come across one, he's looking for it. And he asked me about it. And I've been looking.
If I come across one, y'all never see it.
You ain't gonna keep it? I mean, you gonna keep it?
I'm gonna try to do my best.
Well, just send me pictures.
All right. I'll send you pictures when we hang up. And
I know you'll sell stuff. So hey, if the price is right,
it's gonna have to be more than fair.
Okay.
You know what's funny for personal cars? I don't hunt deals. I hunt cars. So if it's a really nice car, something I want, I just pay whatever. I pay retail all the time for personal stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So
okay. Well, you told me what I needed to know. We got some business after this.
Okay.
So do you buy, do people hit you guys up all the time and be like, hey, you want to buy it?
Yeah.
Or how do you?
Yeah. So we probably get, I don't know, 15, 20 messages a day from people who are selling stuff. And, we buy quite a bit of things. The biggest disconnect in that is that, like, if you see us sell something for 10,000, obviously we can't buy it for 10,000. We need to buy it for like 7.
Right.
To tip it for 1,000, and then I'm comfortable with a $1,500 margin. I don't mind that at all. It just depends on what the car is, and I think that for certain customers, I think that they would rather they won't retail for it from us, which we can't do that. And in that instance, sometimes we offer consignment. Like, hey, listen, you're welcome to send a car to us. We can evaluate it. We can go over what we think is a fair number on it, and then we can list it for consignment for you. And we charge just a percentage of it.
Well, that's dope.
Yeah. So that's how we do consignment.
I know quite a few. So I hope, and this will be saved too on YouTube. So I know quite a few people that this probably would be a great service for. So I'm definitely now adding that to my mental Rolodex to tell people when they're looking to sell their car, because that's pretty dope. And I don't know a whole lot of people that do it that way, especially on what I would say is Rolling Museums level. You get what I'm saying? I can, somebody can sell it out, on their Instagram and their Facebook, or out the in their backyard, but it's a little different when you're dealing with somebody like you guys, because I feel like your rate of return and the you guys you guys sales numbers would support being able to do it that way. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah,
and then also it's the level of transparency that I think our customers have. That we have level of transparency we have with our customers. Like, if you send us a rusty car, I'm gonna tell my customers, your car needs floors, it needs this, it needs that, and it doesn't matter, if it's my car or your car, we're gonna be transparent and let the person make the decision. And if they are comfortable with that at that point, then we'll move forward. If they're not, then we're not gonna keep anything from them or hide anything from them. I think that's where a lot of times people lose their customer base in that way.
What do you think you guys are going to move over into next?
I think that we are going to start flirting a little bit with doing some service. We're going to do some service, and then we're going to probably try to do maybe some lifted trucks to some extent. We'll play around with a little bit newer cars and see what we can do with that. We haven't really made a concrete decision or commitment financially in either direction. So we'll see how this goes, how this summer goes, and kind of make a decision based off that. Is
the Lincoln your dream car, or if you have not owned your dream car, what would be your dream car?
I think for me, the Lincoln is probably it. I'm a little bit nervous about one just because I kind of want to still have that, that one to shoot after. Some cars in your mind are great cars, and then they're not as practical when you get them. So for the longest time, a Grand National was my dream car, and then I've had probably 30 Grand Nationals since. So they don't, I'm probably 6'4", 335 pounds. So when I put myself and my wife and my kids in there, Grand National is not ideal. So now I drive a Cadillac right now. So that's probably, more practical for us.
That's my dream car, Grand National. Well, I have my first dream car. I have it. I'm building it. But my second is the Grand National, and that's what I'm going to get next after. And I told...
What kind of car are you building?
86 SST top.
G-body.
Yeah, nice.
So you like the G-bodies, huh?
I'm a G-body lady. Now, I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to send you pictures after this of where it started versus where it is now. And everybody was like, you should just get rid of that car. You should just scrap it and start with a cleaner car. Yeah. And I'm gonna send you pictures of where it was and where it is now, and you'll be like, oh, okay, now we getting somewhere. But when it comes to your customer base, how do you feel about? Because like I sell G-body parts, so. Don't Ride or Die told me when I first decided I was going to start selling G-body parts, listen, you're going to have customers that's going to ask 1,000 questions and not buy anything. So I'm only selling parts, and you're selling whole cars. So at what point are you like, hey, listen, I've answered as many questions as I can, and you're still just window shopping, how do you
Um,
decide when to cut it off is what I'm saying.
well, I think you need to understand the customer first. And I think customers ask questions to try to make themselves feel comfortable about the purchase. So instead of asking yourself why they ask so many questions, I think the bigger question is, how do I make them comfortable about the decision that they're making? So a couple things that we've done to kind of minimize questions is on the top of our page, I've pinned the three most common questions and answers to them in video form. So a lot of times when people are new to the page, they can take a look at that to kind of answer some of the questions they have. We have several different platforms for questions and follow-ups as it relates to the car. So when you see a loading video from us of a car that's going on the market, before that's happened, we've taken and put the car on the website. We have a full walk-around video on YouTube. So when they ask, hey, can I have pictures of underneath, or can I have a running video? All that stuff is already ready to go. It's just a matter of them doing a little bit of due diligence and looking for it. They asked me, hey, can I have a walk-around video? Yeah, absolutely. Check our YouTube out. It's the most recent video posted. Hey, can you have any still pictures? Yeah, there's 65 pictures on our website. Hey, how does the financing work? Check the pin post at the top of the page. So over time, we've been able to figure out maybe the 70% of the most popular questions and how to get them that information as quick, in that fashion.
Mm-hmm.
And then it helps that we sell cars really quickly. So a lot of times people know that there's a limited amount of time to ask.
Right. What would be a piece of advice you would give someone looking to get into the business, into your type of business, selling classic cars?
I want to say the biggest thing is that kind of stay focused on what you want to accomplish, and don't argue with people on the internet. That's
right.
That's rule one. I don't argue with people. If I disagree with them, I try to I gather myself before I write. I get on the phone with people like, hey, listen, talk me through what the issue is. But anything that you sell, you want to buy it cheaper than what you pay for. I mean, that you sell it for, that's pretty much the name of any game. But just as far as from social media standpoint, don't let one person be the detriment to your page, because, I think there's some people that really exist that want to argue online. That's what they do. So.
Right. So people just live to just troll and try to, do stuff like that.
People argue with me in my inbox all the time. They talking to themselves, but I see it. I don't even.
You leave them on red?
No, I mean, sometimes I respond. I mean, I try to respond I give you a good response first, and then I give you hey, listen, sometimes it just means that we can't do business with each other. That doesn't mean we have to be rude to each other just because we don't agree.
I leave them on red, or I say, okay, thank you, have a nice day.
Yeah,
they get real mad.
I don't even know if I give it that much attention. So
they get real mad with me when I be like, okay, thank you, have a nice day. What? You wanted to argue, huh?
Yeah, we looking for a little bit of argument.
So you said you guys are gonna flirt with maybe doing some service. Anything else that you guys are thinking about?
Not that we can disclose at this point. We got some stuff that are is proprietary that we want to keep proprietary at the moment. We obviously have more growth plans than that, but that's all I feel comfortable talking about right this second.
I respect it, but I'm praying that Rise of Vibes can get some exclusive stuff. When breaking news, I want to be able to, I can see it on CNN. I need a little ticker thing going across the bottom, and it need to say breaking news, and I need to be the one to break the news. So I'm just putting that out there, right?
Well, I think that, the things that we look at are more big picture and how to make it easier for everybody. So it's not going to just involve rolling museums. If we're able to pull off things that we want to pull off, it'll involve the entire car culture. So
I'm included.
Yes, hopefully.
Okay. So, I just want to go ahead and put this out here in front of, everybody. I'm open to collaborations. I have all kind of G-Body stuff. So I'm open to collaborations. I'm gonna send you some pictures. I'm gonna send you some, I got, I'm gonna take care of you.
You got some merch?
I'm definitely open to collaborations. Cause guess what you could do? You could take the pictures and be like, hey, I got this is my girl.
You got some merch?
Yeah.
I
got a lot of stuff.
merch.
Got a lot of stuff. Let me show you one thing. I live my life by the motto: if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready, right? So let me show you these. These are, well, I got them for all G bodies and dumps and box Chevys and all that stuff, but this is just a sample.
Oh, that's dope. That's dope. So that goes in the door.
Door vents, and I got the matching lock knobs.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's dope. We'll definitely do some shopping with you.
I got you. Door strikers. We working on door seals now. We're working on gas and brake pedals. We working over here.
Let's do it. Now, you ain't threatening me with a good time.
See what I'm talking about? That's why me and you get along, Ed.
Yeah, I support
All
it.
right, so
I support everybody. So if anybody has any merch they want me to buy, send it to me. I'll buy it.
I appreciate it. So how do you balance business, so balance rolling museums and your personal life? How do you?
Oh, I'm a huge proponent of work-life balance. My wife will tell you that I'm not very good at it. But I personally, in my personal life, I coach my kids' sports teams. I do my very best not to do business on the weekends. I try to limit the business that I do really kind of after 6 or 7. But finding cars is always just kind of, you find them when you find them. Jigga, you got to buy the badge at the bottom right. It should show you on there. Buy a badge for live.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. So I think that a lot of that stuff is common sense. You're just trying to make time for the things and people that are important, and then scheduling your day out. Like a lot of times, I schedule my reels the night before, so I don't have to get up real early because I try to go to the gym even though I don't eat really well. And then most of my content is created between 4:30 and 6 o'clock in the morning. So
That's most people who own a shop or even run a business or any of that. And I'm on the racing side too. So that's not, a lot of these guys may work, then they race, then they, all type of stuff. They don't do well at the work-life balance either. It's rough. So you sound like you manage it a lot better than a lot of people.
Well, I mean, you gotta, the thing is that, man, I think that people have this is kind of off topic, but I think people have this illusion of how much time they have left and what they can do later on.
Right.
You could get hit by a bus tomorrow, or anything could happen to you. So I think it's important to live life in the now and experience things. Like I save for the future, but I like to experience and live life. I do a lot of traveling. So I don't know how long you've been following me, but I mean, like in the last year, we've done India, Colombia, a lot of Mexico. We do a lot of traveling. So I think it's important that people have work-life balance, and also it's okay to kind of celebrate some of your successes too.
Yeah, that's true. I will say, it's funny you talked about that. I was just talking to a friend of mine maybe yesterday. I told her, I said, I take so many pictures because you never understand how many people pass away, and it's hard to find pictures of them, or it's hard for people to have a memory of them. So anybody asks me to take a picture with them, I'm taking it. You will see, I'm gonna take a million pictures because, like you said, you never know when it's gonna be your last day here. And also, I live my life by the motto that I really. You ever been to a funeral and somebody stand up and be like, "Oh, he was such a good guy." You look around like, what guy they talk about? Because that guy I knew wasn't no good guy. Like, I am at the phase in my life now, because I'm 45. So I'm at the phase in my life now where I really don't need a lot. But my sole goal is to make sure that I make the people around me happy, and that when I leave here and people stand up at my funeral and say, "She was such a good person," they actually telling the truth.
Yeah. That's dope.
I'm saying? Everybody ain't gonna like you, first of all.
And that's cool.
But if you can, I think the measure of a person is when they leave here, how many lives they were able to impact in a positive way.
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly.
So, is there anything that you would like for your fans, followers, supporters to know about Rolling Museum that you don't think that we've covered?
No, man, I say it all the time, but I just really appreciate the support. You know, we couldn't do the things that that we do without them. And you know, any way that we can help you people are always like, oh, thank you for responding. I'm like, I respond to 100% of my DMs. So like, if I see it, I'll respond, and I just want them to know anything we can do to be helpful for you guys, we always will.
You know why they are surprised that you answer? Because a lot of people, I see it all the time in this social media era. Like they feel like the more followers or the more popularity people get, they don't answer their DMs and they don't. Because I experienced it myself. Like I wasn't surprised that you answered, but some people, it doesn't surprise me that they didn't answer. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I answer all of mine. You can write me most of the time. I respond, even if I'm kind of busy. I mean, I answer them in spurts.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but there's not a day that goes past that I don't respond. So if you wrote me and it's been more than 24 hours, send another message because something has got, where I didn't see it. I don't like notifications. So if you look at my phone, I don't see any red. I answer almost everything.
Yeah. I don't do notifications for Instagram. Them things drive you crazy.
Yeah. You should see my phone.
Well, I'm pretty sure, me and you ain't on we're on different levels. Let me just say it that way. And I'm cool with that.
You get that.
As long as I can get you to answer my DM, I'm cool. So I'm going to give you the rest of your time back because I know you're ready to go ahead and get home. But is there anything else that that you would like for us to know? What y'all got coming up? You said the car show Saturday, and what else?
The car show Saturday. It's from 11 to 5 at On the Spot in Huntsville, pending rain. And then we have the 87 Grand National T-Top giveaway, which is Sunday. So if they haven't already bought an entry for that, they can get that through the link in our bio. And then we got a bunch of stuff coming down the pipeline for sales. We've kind of been hoarding cars a little bit for the car show. So as of Monday, you're going to see some absolute fire coming down the timeline. So we got quite a few cars that we need to go ahead and kind of cut loose. We posted a 6.4 Impala, I think, yesterday. We got 2 more of those. We got 77 Cutlass that's going to be posted in the morning. We got just a lot of stuff that's coming. 64 Cadillac convertibles. We got a lot of stuff coming. So it's going to be some, I think we maybe have 6 or 7 Impalas. So.
What year?
I feel like we got 3 64s, a 65, a 66, 96, maybe 2 96s. We got a 71 Cutlass 442 clone. We got another K5 Blazer. All this stuff is on the subscription page.
Y'all don't have no dumps?
But yeah, we have one. We have a 72 that we've actually had that a while. We need to probably finish that.
It's a vert?
Yeah. It's vert season.
Hey, listen, I know some people looking for some verts now. I'm going to tell them to get that. Listen, if y'all just joined and make sure, he said, y'all, if you do the subscription, it's only $1 per month, and you get to see the cars before everybody else sees the cars, so it's worth it. It's definitely worth your $1. And if you have not gotten your entry for the Grand National, which I'm about to go do now, because I feel like that Grand National is mine. So I'm going to go ahead. And buy my 1 or 2 tickets so I can win my Grand National. Because it's like when you was giving away that Grand National before, I entered and it hurt my heart that I did not win. But that's okay. This one is mine.
Y'all need to make your way down. I saw you was at a CEO Larry's show, so make sure y'all down here for June Fest too in June. I think is it the 16th book? June 24th. This is probably the biggest car show in the Mid-South, in my opinion, and will be definitely the biggest one in Alabama. So,
so you'll be there?
Oh yeah, that's anything that Huntsville does. I'm there. I don't care if I don't do nothing but bring one car. I'm in there. I'm supporting as best I can, but we try to make sure that we take care of our culture and our community. So I support them in everything that they do.
That's dope. So I have 2 last questions. The first question is, at the car show, y'all gonna have cars out there for sale?
I mean, obviously everything is for sale that we have, but most of the time, by the time y'all see it, they already gone. So, I mean, I'm sure there'll be some out there that we'll turn loose.
All right. And my last question is, when you're old, sitting in your rocking chair, drinking your lemonade, and you're no longer doing this, what would you like for your legacy to be?
That we just, for me personally, that I helped everybody I can help all the time. So selfless.
I don't know no better way to end the interview. Ed, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to sit down and talk to us. We really appreciate it, and looking forward to seeing the footage because I won't be there, but we're looking forward to everybody who is able to pulling up, and if not, seeing the footage of what happened at the car
Okay.
show.
Appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
All right. Thank you. Have a great day.
Well.
So, guys, that was Ed of Rolling Museums. Y'all make sure if you are not following them, you go follow them now. I wanted to tell you guys, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Rides and Vibes. We have now officially been doing the show since 2019, so we're coming up on our 4th year. I appreciate each and every one of you guys sitting down to give us your time on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. And I will see you guys next Tuesday at 8 p.m. for another episode of Rides and Vibes. Everybody have a great night.